All right, inshallah. Let's see if we have any questions. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.
Allahu Akbar.
Before we offer Salat al-Maghrib, inshallah. All right, so the first question comes from London. Initials MA. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. What's your views on the COVID vaccine and those that mock the anti-vaccine people? Okay, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In brief, I have not received the vaccine, and it is not my immediate intention or distant long-term intention to get the vaccine. I've had friends say to me, Mufti, you're going to get it if they prevent you from traveling. You never travel again, blah, 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 blah. You eventually do it. But if I'm not forced, I have no plan or no intention in taking the vaccine. And there's several different reasons behind that. I have religious reasons, worldly reasons, conspiracy theory reasons, so on and so forth. Those who are confused about vaccines, what to do, what not to do. At the end of the day, it's a personal matter, which you feel convinced about religiously and worldly. I would just say read the history of vaccines and how some of the most dangerous, some of the most deadly pandemics and epidemics that have spread in the 20th and 21st century were the direct or indirect result of vaccines. That's in general. Let alone the fact that healthcare is probably a multi-million, if not a multi-billion-dollar business in the world, let alone the United States. So we can never ever separate money from health. Nor can we separate money, health from politics. They're all connected. And that is why if you read the history of the different vaccines, there were different countries who fought and raced each other to make the vaccine and to champion themselves by creating the vaccine to stop the suffering and the scourge of this disease and of this illness. So they're all connected. And anytime you have money, politics, and medicine in one pot, know for sure that that pot is going to explode. It's a volatile mixture. Politics and money and sheep, people, medicine, experiments, it's not a good mixture. That's number one. Number two is the dark history of medical science. People talk about hunting is inhumane, fighting is inhumane, it's barbaric to wear leather, to wear fur, the animal's trapped, the animal suffers. Whalers are inhumane in Japan, they're torturing the whale, etc., etc., etc. Maybe. Trapping an animal in the woods for 3 days to get its fur. Allah Mustaan. All right? The pain that the bear experiences. Okay? Killing a rhinoceros just for its horn. To put that horn on the table. Or to put that horn on a hilt of a sword, etc. All right? But the medicine that you take, okay? The needle in your arm, all right? The aspirin, the painkiller, okay? The dentist, when you go to the dentist, the things that they do to your teeth. Read the history of that medical practice. How many guinea pigs were used? How many people suffered? How low quality, low grade, shifty, faulty, risky vaccines were sent to poor, impoverished parts of the world and given out for free. Read the dark history of medical science. All right? If you want to know the reality of how people come up with cures and vaccines, and how they know this is dangerous, this is poisonous, this is venomous, this will destroy you, this. Read, and you'll find, all right? You'll find the dark, dark history of medical science way beyond animals. No animals were harmed in the making of this shampoo. No, we're talking about human beings. And read about the dirt and the filth of the modern Western powers with regards to these different human guinea pig experiments. All right? Read about World War II. And read about those who are deemed to be war criminals. I'm not going to mention a country. They were war criminals. First-class war criminals to be executed, to be hanged. And read about the asylum that the United States gave those people that they deemed to be war criminals and their accomplices for exchange of the secrets and the results of them torturing human beings like lab rats. All right, so that's a very long, dirty, filthy, slimy, slick history when we talk about medicine and pills and vaccines. Don't take it from me. Like I always say, read it yourself. If you don't got time to read it, there are countless scientific, authentic documentaries you can find for free. Thirdly is, I'm just not a big fan of the agenda that goes along with COVID-19. Corona, I'm not saying Corona is absolutely fake. I'm not saying no one is sick or dying. I'm not saying that. But we know there's a great deal of agenda behind it. A great deal. Not a little bit. A huge, strong, powerful agenda behind people getting sick and behind people getting cured and all of the other stuff that's going on in the world today. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. So that's first and foremost. As far as those who mock, those who refuse to take the vaccine, then unnecessary mocking is not from the characteristics of the believer. Unnecessarily mocking people is not from the characteristics of the believers. Rather, mocking is only mentioned to be okay or permissible or something that is done in comparison, muqabalatan, mujazatan, mushakalatan, out of the boomerang effect. If you mock us, فَإِنَّا نَسْخَرُ مِنْكُمْ كَمَا تَسْخَرُونَ, we will mock you like you mock us. But for a person to just initiate and to offensively mock and make fun of someone is not from the attributes of the believers. Let alone someone who supposedly learn it. You have a doctor's degree, a master's degree, someone who's supposed to be a famous, influential Muslim speaker and inspirational figure. You're not supposed to mock and make fun of people that don't share your views eye to eye. And Allah knows best. Questions IB from London, UK. Salams Sensei, I'm a beginner in Arabic language. Would it be worth buying the explanation of books of hadith in Arabic only, or is it still valuable to have Arabic English books? Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. May Allah bless you in your endeavors. Buy both. If you got the money, spend it. Build yourself a library. It will inspire you. It will encourage you. And inshallah, it will inspire and encourage your son and your daughter. So buy both. Buy all of them if you can afford them. Inshallah. Question comes from OR, Springfield, Virginia. Assalamu alaikum Mufti. My mother is very sensitive to me marrying outside of my race. Any tips on how to advise my mother otherwise? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Well, if you can, marry within your race to make your mother happy. If you can. Try to find a woman that's pleasing to you. Her spirituality, her religion, her mind, her personality, her beauty, her looks. So her compatibility. Try to find someone that's good for you within your race to make your mother happy. All right. Only Allah knows the hardships that women go through pregnancy. Hardship after hardship. They get pregnant, they get sick, they throw up, they spit up, their ankles become swollen. Okay. They go through all types of hormonal changes, mood swings, their bodies. This happens, doctors, they go through so much to have a baby. And then they have to breastfeed the baby, postpartum depression with the baby, change the baby, wean the baby. The baby is teething. It's so much hardship that women go through having children. So maybe you can pay back your mother by making her happy, put a smile on her face, if you can. And if you don't find a woman that's compatible for you, if you don't find that within your race, then sit down and try to talk with her with an open mind and encourage her to keep an open mind and to keep an empty cup. And Allah knows best. Mahmoud G, may Allah bless you, Sheikh. Gotta plan that part 2 visit soon for the spring or summer. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. It'd be nice for us to visit you brothers as well down in the south. As in Melbourne, Australia, is it permissible to wear clothing that has elements of pigskin in it, such as shoes that contains pigskin leather? And what is the rule on selling such clothing? Pigskin that's been chemically treated, dyed, it's been chemically modified, it's been, professionally put together, I wouldn't consider to be najis or haram. And Allah knows best, and stay away from anything that causes you to have doubt. If you don't need it, then stay away from it. And Allah knows best. Question from Noruddin, Birmingham, UK. Tayyib. Any comment on fantasizing of the concept of seeking ill, you're missing an M, with your wife abroad? It seems like bros and sisters see it as some kind of honeymoon. Tayyib. I don't understand the question too well. Inshallah, we should try to be clearer with our words. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Atba' Salaf, they're people of clarity. Okay? And Allah knows best. From London, if I don't finish Surah Fatiha before the Imam goes to record, do I need to make up the rak'ah after the taslim? It is difficult to recite. No, follow the Imam. Next question. F. Ali, London, UK. What's the ruling where girls' family don't allow her dad to be the Wali? Well, the scholars of Islam, they don't agree that the father is the Wali. Where are you getting that from? Where does it state that the father is the first top tier Wali? Who said that? Hadith say that? That the father is the top tier Wali? Could be the grandfather. Could be the son, if she has a son. Could be her brother, her uncle. Scholars have a long discussion with regards to that. And most people use the father as the top tier Wali. But doesn't necessarily have to be so. Wallahu alam. Tayyib. AB, Tangier, Morocco. What is your opinion on expressions that start with holy? It depends. There's no doubt. Many things in our religion are holy. No doubt about that. Mutahara. No doubt about that. Quddus. Not best. It depends on what it is, though. It depends on what it is and what you mean. When we say the Holy Prophet, I don't think people are trying to say that the Prophet is divine, but he's respected and venerated and held on the highest standard, like this. And Allah knows best. Tayyib. See what time it is. Gotta stop. NR from Toronto, Canada. Assalamu alaikum Mufti. My older siblings have bought a house through Reba despite me advising them. I feel like I've fallen short in trying to warn them of this sin. I'm extremely distraught. I fear that the future will bring, because as we had declared war with Allah and His Messenger. Any advice? Well, if they're not convinced with what you're convinced with, there's not much you can do. Or maybe they are convinced, but they just don't want to follow and listen and submit. There's not much you can do. Stay away from the house. Have them visit you. Don't go into the house. Don't eat in the house. Don't sleep in the house. Have them visit you on a neutral ground. Advise them to get out of it. Advise them to do what they can to free themselves from it. And Allah knows best. Question AM from London, UK. Is it haram for a woman to have a tongue piercing? I can't say it's haram. I don't know of any proof from Quran and Sunnah that prohibits a woman from piercing her tongue. Okay? However, some people may say that it's imitation of kuffar, of mushriks, imitation of pagans and idol worshippers who pierce themselves and poke themselves to please shaitan. And Allah clearly mentioned that Iblis said, فَلَيُبَتِّكُنَّ أَذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ, that they will pierce, they will poke, they will clip and cut the ears of cattle, the ears of bulls and cows. So some say that the origin of piercing is from Satan. But that ayah from Surah An-Nisa, that proof is not absolute. And that usage of proof is not absolutely accurate. And that's because women in Islam are clearly allowed to wear earrings. When Bilal took his shirt and he spread out his shirt, and the women were throwing their al-fatakh, and they were throwing their earrings and bracelets, etc. in Bilal's garment. So the ears were pierced. All right, and it's well known about women having ear piercings and nose as well. So that's not a proof to state that piercing is impermissible. If it was, women wouldn't be able to pierce their ears. So therefore, if there's no specific proof stating that a woman cannot have a tongue ring, it's permissible. And it's a means of style and fashion that you're allowed to enjoy, as long as it is not specific to the mushrikun and to the kuffar. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Alright guys, it's the end of our session. Allah surely knows best. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you check out the fiqh of abortion. Bi'idhnillah, that's going to come up very soon. This Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Jazakumullahu khairan. Also check out our other websites for our list of products, merchandise, and services that we provide. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.